Today we will be talking about the Clair senses. Clair comes from the French prefix of clair, which means clear. So Clair senses just means clear senses. There are 5 Clair senses, but today we're only going to be talking about 4. And that's because in the almost 40 years of my life, I have literally never come across anyone who has Clairolfactory, which is the ability to clearly smell and also taste. If you know anyone or are someone who has Clairolfactory, I would love to talk to you and even meet you, so please drop me a comment down below. So, Clair senses. We all don't just have one Clair sense, but we have all the Clair senses. Every single one of us has every single Clair sense. And it is up to us to filter through all of the egoic nonsense on top to understand what our higher selves are trying to show us. So first up is clairvoyance, the ability to clearly see. Clairvoyance comes in ways such as dreams, premonitions, visions, signs, and symbols. If you ever have a dream and you wake up and whatever you dreamt comes true, that's clairvoyance. Or let's say that a friend calls you or asks you for advice, and during asking you for advice, you get a flash of an image and you can see what the outcome of the situation will be. That is also clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is usually seen right behind the third eye, so the middle of the forehead. It's not a clear linear picture, but it's more so like seeing things in your peripheral. It's as if you're looking at the world and there's a movie playing simultaneously alongside what you're looking at. That is kind of what clairvoyance is like. Also, not being in a linear picture, you may get flashes of images of symbols or signs. You may see things on repeat in the 3D actual world. Those are all forms of clairvoyance. It's just up to you to delineate meaning for those symbols and then to understand that every time that you see them, that is what the delineation is and that is what the clairvoyance is trying to tell you. The next Clair sense is claircognizance. Claircognizance gets mixed up with Clairsentience quite a lot, and they're actually very, very different within their delivery. Claircognizance is one thing, the ability to clearly know. So let's say that you are asked a question about something that you have no idea about. You've never studied it, you've never thought about it, you've never seen anything on it, but for some reason you know the answer. And it's not that you're guessing the answer, it's not that you're feeling the answer. You know the answer, like as if you have studied it forever and as if it was a fact. It's clear knowing. Claircognizance is seen a lot within twins. I don't mean twin flames, I mean actual twins. Twins have a capacity to always know if the other is in danger or in trouble, if they're hurt or what they're going through. They just know. And this is the most basic and easily seen claircognizance. Next is clairaudience, the ability to clearly hear. Clairaudience is a Clair sense that is very hard to fine-tune, and that's because it doesn't come in the way of someone sitting next to you and talking to you. It's not like you're hearing voices in your head. It's usually your own voice that you're hearing, and it will come as a phrase, a word, a song, just random things that are very fast. So, for example, a lot of people with strong clairaudience will be driving and they'll, for some reason, just hear stop, like very loudly in their head. They'll slam on the brakes only to have a car go through the intersection in front of them and they just missed a head-on collision. Or you may be getting dressed in the morning and hear a voice in your head that says, don't eat the turkey sandwich, only to eat a turkey sandwich later and get food poisoning from it. These are all forms of clairaudience. So like I said, clairaudience is probably one of the hardest to fine tune, and that is just because we have a hard time trusting ourselves. So obviously when you hear a voice in your head, a word, a phrase, a song, and it's in your own voice, it's hard to differentiate between whether that is actually clairaudience or whether it is your ego just running wild and you're thinking about random things that have no meaning. So my suggestion to kind of elevate your clairaudience is to trust yourself and just see what you randomly hear, and also if it comes to fruition later on. You can also write it down. It helps to remember sort of the things that come in with regards to all of the clair senses. So if you clearly know something, if you clearly hear something, if you clearly see something, or you have a vision or a premonition, or even just a flash of knowing something, write it down and mark a date and pay attention to it later on so that you have something to go back to. And then lastly, because we're not doing Clairolfactory, is Clairsentience. Clairsentience is the most common of the clair senses. It means to clearly feel. So everyone has experienced this. I don't care whether you believe in clair senses or think you don't have any clair senses. Even the biggest skeptics have experienced clairsentience, because all clairsentience is your gut feeling. That's all you have to tell someone with regards to whether clair senses are real, is say, have you ever had a gut feeling? And 100% of them will say, of course, and they always came true. So just like claircognizance gets intertwined with clairsentience, clairsentience also gets intertwined with being an empath. And they're two very different things, because not all clairsentients are empaths, but all empaths are clairsentient. So the difference is that with clairsentience, you don't necessarily take on the feelings as if they are your own. Whereas if you're an empath, everything that you feel, to you, it feels like it's happening to you, and you can't really decipher, unless you've had a lot of practice, what is yours and what is a feeling from something else. If you have not watched my video on what is an empath, I highly suggest that you look at it. It will give you the distinction between clairsentience and empath. But with regards to clairsentience, let's say that you have a gut feeling that something's going to happen and then it comes true. That is clairsentience. Or if you are talking to someone and you just kind of feel that something's off, you ask them what's going on and they tell you about a rough time that they're going through, or that they had a really bad day, that is also clairsentience. All you're doing is you're feeling their energy field. You're feeling the energy that's not quite right. It's not quite normal. It's something different than what you're used to. That is what clairsentience is. It's the most common. It's the easiest to begin kind of listening to and paying attention to with regards to building all of the clair senses. So with that, I very much look forward to hearing from you guys what your clair senses are, the most heightened clair senses, what you want to work on. And if you have any questions with regards to clair senses, please drop a comment down below. And until next time, all of my best and highest vibrations to you.